All right, it says that I am live. Let's see what we can do here while we're trying to watch tr- uh, this particular motion hearing. Um, One of the issues that we have is it was supposed to start at 3 and it has yet to start. So here we are. Here is WBZ News in Boston. If you are so inclined, you can subscribe and hit the like button for WBZ News in Boston if you so want to. I'm not so inclined right now. But I will say that it does not mean that this is their fault because when it comes down to it, court is dynamic, streaming is dynamic, and anything is bound to happen. If you know anything about anything when it comes to court, it may start on time and stuff happens. Things fall from well, this is a 3 o'clock hearing because it's 3 hours ahead of us in LA in California on the West Coast. So it could be that their 1 o'clock hearing, their 1:30 hearing is still going on. So their 3 o'clock is pushed back. That could be a scenario. It could be that something happened and the court clerk got stuck in traffic or had to rush home, or we just don't know because nothing has yet posted. But we are here waiting for the hearing to start on Colin um, Albert. Everybody has called them the Mech Alberts and had these great little cute nicknames, not necessarily trying to be cute, but they have confused me. His name is Colin Albert. I almost put Mech Albert on the thing. He's not a Mech Albert. His name is Colin Albert. Okay. Put in the chat where you're joining us from. This here is the chat. They are going at it. We'll read some of those in just a second. Let me see here. Hold. While you're putting that in the chat, I'm going to see if I can pull something else up. So let's hold on for a second. Okay, okay. Well, I think we'll give it 30 minutes and then we can decide if we want to hang on or not. I wanted to check in because it's been so long since I've been on. Sorry, my real docket versus my YouTube docket is just conflicting with one another. But I hope you've missed me as much as I've missed you. And I thought today getting into a small hearing would be good to get into real quick, just really, really quick. Um, well, let's talk about where we are road so far in terms of why we're even having a hearing today. Maybe you saw last week that the parties went before the judge because Colin Albert has decided that he was not going to sit for deposition. And then maybe this is not his personal decision. Some people feel like when they are in a lawsuit, it is their personal decision versus a lawyer's decision. The fact is, the lawyer gives advice, but they are acting on behalf of their client. So whatever the lawyer makes a decision strategically or not, it reflects on the client as well. So maybe the lawyers came up to this decision or not, who knows? But at the end of the day, they decided that Colin would not sit for Karen Reed's deposition because they already sat for the plaintiff's deposition. plaintiff being represented by Diller's firm, and the plaintiffs in this case is the O'Keefe family. Um, but the problem is, Colin was subpoenaed and noticed to be deposed by the plaintiffs first. And so the plaintiffs, Rosenberg has been great at giving oral argument and writing whoever wrote the opposition in the motions and the reply, stating that Colin is playing games. No, he's not a party to this action. However, he is an instrumental part in terms of what the defense is, because Karen Reed is the defense in this case. And so uh, in the hearing, I think it was Thursday or Wednesday last week, um, they had to argue the fact that Colin was saying, well, or his attorney Diller was saying that, hey, you have subpoenaed documents, but these documents we can't get to you before the actual deposition because you only subpoenaed them, 10 days or whatever, how many days before the deposition. It's not enough time. What you're looking for is too broad, 4 years, blah, blah, blah. So they said in good faith, okay, great, let's do this. We'll take the deposition off calendar. We'll schedule it after you have documents produced. Let's meet and confer relative to lessening the request, not making it so broad. And then after doing that, they stopped responding to Rosenberg's team, or the collective as they want to go by. And so then they said, well, okay, guess what? Colin is available. He's only available for 2 days, this 28th, 29th of May. And then after the 2nd of June, he is never available again in life. It's like, what? Is he planning his demise? Is he going to heaven or elsewhere on the 2nd? What are you doing? Come to find out, he has applied or had applied at some point and got accepted into, I believe, the Army or one of the military branches. And so he's going through the training and the rigmarole that they go through. And so consequently, he is unavailable for depo. Problem is, guess what? You have to notice to the military if you have civil litigation. Now, when I looked at the form, it said if you in fact are a party to the civil litigation, and he's not a party to this particular case. He is a party to a different case. There is a lot of, hi, welcome. I see you. Come on in. Make sure you like and subscribe when you do. So he is a party to a different civil case, but there is a question as to, did he disclose that he's a party and that he's not necessarily needed for that particular case, or did he not disclose because he became a party after he applied to the military? There is no real definitive answer just yet. So consequently, we are in our holding pattern today because judge said no, he's coming. He has to be here for this. Okay, I just want to refresh, make sure. Yeah, we're still waiting for the hearing to start. Judge says last week, nope, Colin has to sit for this deposition. He was properly noticed and subpoenaed. And of course, Diller tried to argue that the subpoena was no longer in effect because it has passed the date, and that the deposition notice should be, void. Judge did not agree because of continuation processes that were going on, even though the opposition by Diller's team noted that there were no continuation. Emails show that there were further communications that were being ignored or not necessarily just leaving the deposition undone. Rosenberg and team was in fact trying to get Colin situated and working with the attorneys for Colin. So we're here today because we have a lot of questions. We probably won't get anything answered relative to the military questions. What did he put down on his application? I can't imagine that coming into the hearing. Mostly the hearing is supposed to be, okay, so when is he available? That was the last question that the judge left Colin's attorney off. And I don't really remember his name. He's not Diller, but, he's the non-party representative. So I don't remember Colin's attorney's name. But I do know that was the last question of issue. When is Colin coming and and don't tell me the fall, because he said, oh, in the fall. No, not the fall. In the next few days, when is Colin coming for depo? Which is a headache that the military does not like to have, is, a break in their schedule, because the schedule is tight, it is rigorous, and hopefully that won't cause him any problems in serving his country. There's a lot of problems that could arise if, in fact, he lied on the application. I don't necessarily know that he did. I know that that is a part of the question in the air, but we don't really know if what he put down there or what communications he had, because he could have very well told the truth and then communicated that in a hearing it thereafter that he didn't think his involvement would be vital to the case. That could be something he expressed because he feels like, well, according to his attorney, he's a non-party, right? Okay, so is there anywhere else that we can find this hearing? It doesn't look like WBZ News is posting anything. What courthouse are we supposed to be in? The other thing was, the last hearing, they were the only ones that were allowed to put the hearing on, to stream it, and then they had half of the hearing. They had to come back and say, oh wait, here's the other half. So I hope that's not like today. I hope today is not a repeat of last week. Oh, we only have one part of the hearing, the second half. Let's see. What can we do? We've come so far and yet got nowhere, right? Let's see if I can find. And that's probably jumping around all the YouTube's channels trying to figure out where is the hearing. And I say to you, oh, what case is this one? 4 days ago. Okay, well, we can look at the 4 days ago one, which we just kind of recapped. But doesn't look like anyone else has anything live. They are just as behind the ball as we are, not because we failed to be here, but because, they don't want to have the hearing going on just yet. Okay, let's see. I'm going to switch our channel for a second because now we have an unavailable stream there. Good grief. Thanks a lot, WB. See? It's so dynamic. Is this the right one? Okay, we're going to look at the last one, just kind of go over that just in case someone missed it.
Going to be produced for deposition.
You can hear him?
He appeared for that deposition on the 28th pursuant to subpoena, and then he is.
Let me know if you can hear this.
You agree you accepted a deposition subpoena?
Hear it or
He
not?
was served a deposition subpoena for April 29th.
Then you talked about taking it off. It didn't go for it. When's he going to be available?
At this point in time, Your Honor, I'm not sure. It'll be sometime in the fall. He's got 10 weeks.
Okay, so this is last week. Yes, I know that's not today's hearing. I'm so sorry. We're still waiting on today's hearing. But just so that we're not on dead air, this is kind of recapping last week. Last week specifically talked about when is he available, Your Honor says. And he's like, oh, in the fall. And the Honor has a great response to that.
Training.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
He's in basic training right now. We have 1 hour a week communications with him.
And I don't dispute what you're telling me, but I'm not going to simply rely upon a statement in court that a witness can't be produced until the fall. So go find out when he can be produced before that.
Say there's games here. We informed them the same day that we found out this information that he had been accepted into the military and had a shipment date of June 2nd. We said, please take his deposition during this period of time. I know you want to take it. And at that point in time,
let's not put aside the fact that you represent him in another case.
Certainly.
That
And
was
he's,
a call that was filed not that long ago.
yes,
So certainly, maybe a party that's going to prosecute actions such as they have alleged should stay in touch with their attorneys and let them know what's going on.
certainly. And we know what he's going through his first 3 weeks school. And then when this ends, he'll go to 10 weeks basic training. We're not sure where that will be. The Army will assign him that location of where his 10 weeks of basic training will be. He'll be on, like I was saying, Your Honor, he'll be on leave in the fall. So in terms of I appreciate it.
Let me just make it clear. We're not waiting till the fall.
Okay.
All right? Discovery ends in this case on August 17th.
Okay.
So you're going to go find out when he can get back up here and be deposed.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the status of any discussions between the attorneys as to the scope of the production. I agree with Attorney Tuxbury that the scope of the subpoena is excessively broad. And I know there have been discussions, but I don't know where you're at now. Have you had any recent discussions?
No, the discussions are what are laid out. And if Your Honor is inclined to ask us to, we can continue to work on the document side and report back to you in a few days.
Great.
Yes, I mean, we made our proposal, Your Honor, with respect to, issues about what this case is about, which is the death of Officer O'Keefe on the night of January 29th, 2022. He searched for all communications with law enforcement for the entire period of time, look for other ones. We never heard back. We got this motion in response to that. I mean, we're happy to look at other stuff here, but I think to your point, the asking for private conversations, communications, really from our perspective is a non-starter without being tied to this case.
To you, Attorney Rosenberg, collective you, let's keep in mind, okay, that I know there's the other case, but you're talking about a non-party.
Understood, Your Honor. And I don't know if you would want to, but I'm happy to get some thoughts from you about because what Mr. Tuxbury is referring to is the extremely narrow two categories that they said we'll search for these and we don't have any documents. We search and we don't have any documents other than the text chain that's already public record. So I think that is certainly too narrow. But I also take your point to me that as it stands, the subpoena is too broad. There is obviously, as you are aware, Your Honor, there's more than wrongful death alleged here. The false narrative is part of the claims the plaintiffs have brought in this case. And that obviously relates to much longer than January 28th and 29th of 2022. So to the extent, there's burden.
I don't know that it extends 4 years.
And I'm not trying to argue it because I don't understand that you want to decide that as a fact right now. All I'm saying is it's broader, and this is kind of my point. I think it's broader than what Mr. Tuxbury and his team interpret it. You're telling us that you think it's narrower than what we interpret it, and that's taken, which is why I suggested we have a conversation about maybe meeting somewhere in the middle, and I'm fine doing that.
When can you have the conversation?
Tomorrow?
Sure. Yeah, I'm open to a call anytime. Just call me. I'm available tomorrow afternoon. We have a meeting for something else tomorrow afternoon.
It's
So
not me that has to call you.
I understand. It's anyone.
That's the funny part of, well, the hearing has moments, but that's a real funny part. It's like, just call me. I'm available. And they're just like, it's not me who has to call you. Well, yeah, I just don't know who I'm supposed to deal with over there. And Rosenberg is looking at him like, you really are a jerk that never ceases to amaze. Because if you read the emails, Rosenberg goes, why are you talking to David? Or no, is it Chaz? Why are you talking to Chaz? You're supposed to be dealing with. And Jim is like, well, I want to talk to Chaz. I want to talk to him, and doing everything he can possibly do to circumvent to Rosenberg, when Rosenberg is like, I'm the one that's working this issue. You should talk to me. I'm the actual attorney working it over and over and over again. I'm talking about Memorial Day weekend emails, which attorneys, it's a holiday. The family is begging them to be present during the holiday. And Rosenberg is like, I'm away on the holiday, but bottom line is I'm the person to talk to. I'll talk to you on Tuesday. And then Jim is like, no, we have a motion next, we have an opposition due right now. So we need to talk now and we need to fix this now. And Rosenberg, we'll talk later, but I'm the person to talk to. He's like, well, I want to talk to Chaz anyway. I don't want to talk to you. And now here he is in court. Well, I don't know who to talk to. And Rosenberg is over there with his face like, oh yeah, buddy, you don't know who to talk to?
Damon can call me. I never know who has to call me because there's allocation of
Rosenberg
attorneys,
wants to
so
go
you need to know
ham.
who you're talking to. But yeah, I can have a conversation about that. But obviously, as you know, this is a wrongful death. That would be broader than that. That's a different case here. And so
All right, everybody, I see you here. Just want to make sure you're updated. This is last week's hearing. Looks like the hearing for today got the live stream got taken down, and they most likely are going to upload it as a replay. So when they have the replay, we'll deal with that. Sorry, this happened in the middle of stream, but just FYI, what we're listening to is a rehearing of last week. Okay, FYI.
the issue I have, Your Honor, is as a third party here, a lot to say.
He's just gonna start arguing.
Yeah, we'll consider
Okay, let's go over Jim's representations here. He represented a great deal, kind of all across the board. One thing he made a point of, it's expensive for his client to produce what's asked of him. And since he's a non-party and this is the wrongful death case, that which was asked of him kind of overly broads the conversation. Hello, I see some new people in. Just FYI, Colin's hearing was taken down. CBS Boston took it down, and I've gotten word that in fact the judge has requested it not to be live streamed, and it will be recorded and most likely uploaded as a replay later on. So as soon as that happens, we'll let you know. This is hearing from last week. Just FYI, this is hearing from last week. Sorry for the confusion. We're just, keeping up with the judge's orders at this point in time. All right, so Jim is giving representation like, hey, it's expensive to produce documents and to produce discovery. Yes, it is expensive, especially when you're doing metadata e-discovery. However, the point is the judge makes, well, you're going to have to do it at some point. He's like, well, yeah, but right now we're not a party, and so this is not required of us right now. Okay, understood. Then he goes into representations that we wanted to consolidate the discovery. Yes, they did eventually, but in the beginning they did not. When her team wanted to consolidate everything and make it one hearing and one case, nobody wanted, everybody else did not want that. The O'Keefe's did not want that. So consequently, it's broken down by claims. So the wrongful death, defamation, they're all individual claims. And so consequently, that's mostly how the cases are broken down. Um, then Jim goes into, well, they wanted to consolidate for us. Yes, they wanted to consolidate this one particular discovery issue. And Karen was like, no, if we're going to consolidate one issue, we need to consolidate all. We can't just cherry pick. Like, we got to keep it streamlined and keep it the way the judge wants it. So that's why the judge is like, well, I don't think they wanted it that way. So that was the little confusion there. And now Rosenberg is getting into his rebuttal. All right, just FYI, we're still looking at last week because we don't yet have the replay for today. Okay, we're waiting on the replay for today.
No,
What depositions are scheduled?
With a porcelain
I'm
restoration
so
expert.
sorry.
And what I
I'm on the
discovered
wrong account. Okay, sorry. Here we go. In case you didn't know how to clean the toilet, get out of here.
Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Talk about this again. Does that work for everyone?
when you said your team, were you talking to Mr. Buck? Okay. Let me just make sure.
Zoom or in person, Your Honor.
In person?
Perfect.
Yes, that works.
I will not be available, Your Honor. I think I mentioned this at our Group 16 conference. I'll be gone for a while.
Maybe you have someone that could report on the results of your discussions.
Certainly, I can do that, Your Honor. And that's part of the issue with respect to resources. Obviously,
Okay, before we get into this hodgepodge of information, the judge has been very consistent. Like, you have 20,000 lawyers. Pick one and have them come. I don't want to hear your schedule is tight.
I have my
But he is a non-party, so he's not necessarily 20,000 lawyers, but that's his main theme for this particular case. Is like, there's 20 of you here, 10 of you there, like, cut it out.
Maybe you have
Get
someone
stuff
that
done.
could report on the results of your discussions.
Certainly, I can do that, Your Honor. And that's part of the issue with respect to resources. Obviously, I have my colleague Kieran Murphy, who's here with me, pro hoc into the defamation case. It costs money to do that. It's not cheap, so I can try to find.
Okay, so this particular representation by Jim is appalling to many lawyers who do pro hoc vice applications and appearances throughout the nation. It became known to us that the pro hoc vice application cost for Massachusetts is around $250. Dude, if you go, so in other places, it's $650 per case. So, yeah, that's kind of not that big of a deal. But I do understand the element of we're in multiple cases. If he's pro hoc in one case and then another case, then it adds up. But it's still $250 per application. And at this time, he's like, our resources are slim. This is the major representation he's given throughout the hearing. When it comes to production of documents, the financial resources are slim. When it comes to having multiple representatives, the financial resource for Pro Hoc Vice applications is slim. And so financially, they're strapped in certain ways. Now, there's a good uh, ideal that he's actually on commission, in the sense that if the case is won, then he'll get commission, or at least Diller is. Maybe Jim is getting paid a flat fee, or he's getting paid an hourly wage, or whatever have you. But somewhere down the line, the cost is not being covered to to his liking. So that's his representation here. Financially, we don't have the funds or resources to produce and to respond and to have appearances, because Colin is relatively going to be paying for both of him and Kieran to be there today. But this is the cost of litigation. Civil litigation is extremely expensive.
Someone in my office to respond, or he can respond without appearing before Your Honor, and then we can figure out.
We have no objection to making that easier, however we can. To the extent there's a way that Mr. Murphy can appear, we're fine.
But we'll let him appear. Right?
Yeah, yes, I mean, I'd asked today. I understand that he's not pro-hoc into this case. That's all.
We got it, counselor.
We have no
Don't tell
objection.
anyone. Okay?
We're good.
Keep
Nobody
it for your
take it.
vacation. You have to get talking about Attorney Rosenberg.
Yes.
Anything else? You have other motions that are coming?
Yeah, we do. We have a motion to compel that's coming.
Okay, quickly. I see new people. Hello, hello, hello. Like the video. Thank you for being here. FYI, the court has taken down the feed, so we do not have live feed. FYI, we do not have live feed of today's hearing. We are recapping last week's hearing as to why we're even here today, because we're supposed to have a hearing today. Turns out the judge does not want live feed. It most likely will be brought up as a replay. Okay, so we're waiting for CBS to put the replay up so that we can watch today's hearing. In doing so, we're just looking at last week's hearing in the time being. Okay, thanks for being here.
Again, next week, I think the opposition's due early next week. Be filed with you shortly.
All right, that's the sidebar noise. It's so irritating. Sorry, hopefully you're not plugged into your ears. Can't wait for the sidebar transcripts, right? What is this sidebar about? Well, what is today about? Today is supposed to be about what is going on with Colin. When will he appear? What is the date, Your Honor? The judge has been very consistent in some of his concerns. One of his concerns has been relative to how many lawyers are involved in the case, so therefore keeping the case on fast track. Fast track is about a 2-year term. Regular can be 3.5 years. So he's trying to keep it on a fast track, keep things going. That is a part of the judge's job, no matter what they call balls and stripes, and they keep the calendar moving, keeping everyone accountable. So that's his main goal right about now, because we're in pretrial discovery elements of the time frame. So he's trying to keep everything on time so we can go to trial and have things tidy and ready to go. This is good for the parties because it lessens their cost, because the longer you're on stream, the longer you're in a case, the longer you're going to pay, the much more you're going to pay. Okay, so we have Jim McCabe, Colin's dad, I think Brian Albert, and then the attorney Kieran was next to him. So that's what they're looking at right now. The other major thing that the judge has been concerned with is the notoriety and public appearances of the case. So when Karen Reed and Alan Jackson went on a tour with, I don't know, was it CBS, ABC, whoever it was. The judge made mention of, okay, well, she's out there making notations that, we're going to have this case filed, and we're going to go up against the Massachusetts Police Department and so forth. Well, did you, counselor, tell the opposing counselor that this was going to happen, or are you sideswiping them when you all of a sudden now want to have deposition of Proctor? So it turns out, yes, they did tell him. But bottom line is that it's just been indications that this judge does not really care for the social medias. And one of the statements he said earlier in this hearing is, stop pandering to social media in your pleadings. And he pointed out to Rosenberg how he, in fact, was pandering and not just the other side.
Her documents. That's it.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to have to change my feed in a minute. Sorry, guys. So in doing that, I think that's the reason for today. I think that's the reason why it turned out we were going to have a hearing, and the hearing is but it's not necessarily broadcast live as we thought it was going to be. It turned into, it turns out they pulled the feed. So we were watching CBS. CBS did have it posted that they were going live, but now the judge has asked them not to go live, and from what we can tell, from what we're hearing, and instead of going live, it looks like they're going to do a replay. So that's why we don't necessarily have any feeds. I know you guys are looking for the feed, but it looks like the judge has pulled the live and just going to have a replay for CBS. As a result, we don't have the hearing for today, and we're looking at the hearing last week.
All right.
Okay, so we were supposed to meet
Okay, so the matter is
today.
June 22nd, 2026 at 3 p.m. in person for the hearing on this.
And they probably are meeting today, right? They most likely are, but they're not meeting live feed, like they're not broadcasting live. So the hearing that's going on today is not broadcasted live as they had advertised. So Boston had to take down their video, Boston's WBZ News. And looks like we will have a replay of today's hearing. So this was last week's hearing. And, you're sitting here with me. I'm sitting here with you trying to figure out, hey, Judge, we all want to hear, is Colin Albert going to come testify in deposition? What day, if he is? So while we are here, tell me where you're coming in from. I don't know why they're. Oh, this is a very painful video, right? Painful video. They're showing everything of no consequence. Everything of no consequence or interest to what we really want to see. We are looking for the live feed together. Boston has pulled down their feed. We believe it's the judge's order to not do a live feed after all, but to do a replay of what the hearing is for Colin Albert today. Going to check one more place and see if I can find it. Karen Reed. So tell me where you're coming in from. It's so good to have you. Sorry, we're sitting here in silence looking for. Yeah, that's what they did to us. They threw us off. They said no video for you. Yeah, looks like the judge says, and we know the judge said before, he does not want them pandering to the media, to social media. He does not want to have Karen Reed doing a tour with the news as to what's going on in the court. He really wants to keep the court separate from the social media. So, I guess let's see if we can find Colin's last hearing. No, not last week. Trial one. Everybody remember trial one and what Colin had to say? Wasn't he just a ball of information? He had so much information for us and not really any information for us, right? Remember? Let's see. See, when you are on the fly, I know it's only 1 minute. See, reaction. When you're on the fly, it's hard to find what we should be doing when the judge changes the schedule like this. Judge G, we love you. He's been comical relief. He's been fair in his rulings. He's been consistent, right? We love watching Judge G, but at the same time, he's been a little, a little snappy to the social medias. And here we are today, and we can't even figure out what to do because he changed the procedure at the last minute. And I'm saying he did because that's what was stated, but I don't know for sure if it was him. Okay. No, Emily. I love Emily D. Baker, but she just wants to go over the recap of what we've done. At least that's what's popped up. And I wanted to see Colin Albert last trial one. Wanted to see him trial one. Colin was telling us that his cousin picked him up. And now we find out they're really not cousins. And then the Life 360 shows that Allie McCabe kind of went everywhere, but not to Colin's house. So how did she actually drop him off? If she picked him up from 34 Fairview, how did she drop him off at home? I don't know, because she could have turned her phone off. Her phone could have died. We don't know. It's so many pieces to the puzzle not yet solved or answered, but it does highlight the fact that there is a puzzle. And unfortunately, it looks like the Proctor and crew did not actually investigate these puzzle pieces. They just let them stay pieces, right? So tell me what your thoughts are. Do you believe that Colin Albert is in fact hiding something? Or is he just kind of, a kid or a young adult, making decisions with no real understanding? I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's a little bit of both. I think he just might be hiding something, and he's a kid that doesn't really understand what the heck he's talking about. It's like, hey, I applied. I'm doing a thing. Okay, let's see if we can find something interesting today to watch while we wait for our replay. Who is this on the stand? But tell me your thoughts. Okay. But I really do believe he just doesn't realize, kids kind of just don't get it. You can't just say, oh, tomorrow I'm leaving the country. Wait, what? You're in court. You're in cases. You have litigation going on. Oh yeah. I can't be bothered with that. I have other things to do. It doesn't work like that. So he very well could have told his attorneys last minute of his desire to get into the military, and and waited till he got the call like, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow, or I might be leaving tomorrow, or whatever. That could be plausible. He may not, in fact, be running. He probably just doesn't care. He probably just doesn't care, which is unfortunate because he should care, right? He should. Okay. That's That's not interesting. I was looking at day one of the trial, and not that interesting. Mm-mm-mm. Ah, what is this? What are you? Go away. We want the court case. We want the court case. We want the court case. Unfortunately, the court case is not there. It's not there, people. It's not there. What did they do? They decided. Okay. They decided that they were not going to do live stream after all. For whatever reason. Maybe the judge told them not to do it. Maybe their camera wasn't working. Maybe they just like, in fact, not being informative. I don't know. Last week they only showed half of the hearing and then had to go back and give the full hearing later, or the trial channel did. Somebody did. Everybody was like, what? Where's the rest of it? We're all like, I don't know. I don't know where the rest of it is. And here we are today going, where's the hearing? I don't know. I don't know where the hearing is. We're crying in the same river we cried last week. Where is it? Boston, Massachusetts. You cannot hide what's going on with the Colin Albert hearing for the day. Let's see. What can we find? Oh, I don't want to be bothered with that. I don't want to be bothered with him enlisting into the army. I want to see, is he going to testify in deposition, and what day? I mean, we know he is, but what day? And is the army mad? Now, we can talk about that. Is the army actually mad at him for telling, not telling? Okay, so while we cry the river, because we are definitely crying because the court has decided to change its mind. Someone changed their mind. They said, nah, we will, but we won't. We will, but we won't. So since we don't have a testimony from Colin Albert right now, let's see what he testified to in 2024. Let's see, what day was this? May 17th, 2024. Thank Court TV for keeping it up. Let's see what you have to say.
Court and jury in the case now and here to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So
I do.
thank you.
All right, whenever you're ready, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Robin. Mr. Albert, who did you talk to in order to prepare for your testimony starting yesterday?
Can you rephrase that question?
Phrase the question. You didn't understand my question?
No.
Who did you speak to?
Wait, he had to rephrase the question by changing the word from talked to speak to. Come now. That's not even really like you don't understand talk to, speak to. You don't, those two things are interchangeable, but by golly, one does not over explain the other. So come on now. This is going to be fun. Deposition is going to be fun when it takes place.
Testimony yesterday.
No one.
You didn't speak to your parents?
No.
You didn't speak to your mom, your dad?
Nope.
Those are parents.
At any time before yesterday about your testimony or your statements?
Nope.
Did you discuss with your parents their testimony?
No.
So after they got off the witness stand, your dad didn't come home and say, here's how my day went?
No.
Your mom didn't come home and say, here's how my day went?
Nope.
The Albert family just ignored the fact that both of them testified in a court of law before a jury about the events of January 29th, 2022. Nothing was ever said?
No.
Did you talk to Mr. Lally at any point before yesterday in preparation for your testimony?
Before yesterday, you said?
Correct.
Yes.
Tell me when.
Want to say a month ago about.
What did you talk about?
I got prepped for this.
Tell me what that means. What does it mean to prep for this?
What I'm going to be getting asked.
Okay, so here we go. The first question: have you talked to anyone about your testimony here today? I don't understand the question. Please rephrase. Have you spoken to anyone about what you're going to testify here today? Oh, no, I have not spoken to anyone. Okay, 4 or 5 more questions in, I spoke to Lally and he told me about what I was going to do today. He prepped me for today. So we have contradictory statements in a span of 2 minutes or a minute and 40 some odd seconds, and we already are contradicting ourselves. I can't wait to see the depo transcript. What will this gentleman say on when he's deposed, and what did he say in his last deposition with plaintiffs? Like, all of those things come into play. FYI, for those who are here right now, we are in a pickle. The judge said, no, we're not going to live stream, but you can record. So most likely Boston will put up a replay for today's hearing. While we're waiting on that, we're just kind of refreshing ourselves as to what did Colin say the last time. All right, that's where we are today.
Remember my first question, very first question this morning? I said, have you spoken to anybody?
I remember.
In order to prepare for your testimony. Quite a bit, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't remember what he asked. You don't remember what you were going to say. How about this? I don't remember precisely what I was going to say, but I do know whatever it was going to be the exact truth. No, why would he do that, right? Oh gosh, this is going to be juicy.
Over the last 2.5 years.
No.
How long have you been thinking about this case?
Since people started writing about me on the internet.
How about since you were at a house where an individual ended up dead on the lawn the next morning? Did that prompt you to start thinking about this case?
No.
Not so much, huh?
Nope.
So I think the difference may be right here that this case is a case against Karen Reed, and it's going to court, so it's court hearings, versus saying something more along the lines of, when did you start thinking about the death of John O'Keefe? When did you start thinking about the prosecution and who was going to be charged with the death of John O'Keefe? I think it would have been good to kind of dig a little deeper, because Colin is showing that he's doing wordplay. He did wordplay when it came to speak to, talk to, and now it's case. So I think he's really into wordplay, and I think that when they do the deposition of Colin, the attorneys will be alert to the fact that you have to ask him the same question 10 different ways, because he's not going to necessarily answer off of just one word of the case.
Did you speak with, when Mr. Lally spoke, conversation with Mr. Lally?
Welcome.
I do
Glad
not
you're
remember.
here.
Mr. Lally,
FYI, the the judge pulled the live stream and told the Boston News that we're not going to be live streaming at this time, that they, in fact, are going to have to record and then do an upload. That's what has been reported. Hopefully, they will upload the replay. While we wait for them to do that, we are just looking at Colin's previous statements. These things will and can be used against him.
Taking notes?
I do not remember.
Do you remember being told by either Sergeant Tully or
Wait, so he can't remember. This is gold. He cannot remember the conversation a month prior, but he is supposed to be able to remember everything precisely how it happened years prior. Okay, Colin. Okay, we look forward to hearing from you. So glad.
how long was that meeting?
Yeah, how long?
Say 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Were you given any instructions by either Sergeant Tully or Mr. Lally about blogs?
Nope.
I have a question. Do you have to have social media to see social media? Like, you don't have to have accounts, right? But you can still watch social media. Well, while you're watching this social media channel, just want to FYI, the judge has pulled the live stream from Boston News, and we're looking forward to him doing a replay, allowing them to put up the replay. So while we're waiting on that, we're just kind of refreshing our memory as to what Colin had to say when he testified in 2024 at the criminal trial. Glad you're here. Welcome. Go ahead, subscribe, hit the like button. We appreciate you, and I hope you appreciate this channel.
So literally, according to you, you know zero about the media coverage concerning this case, Commonwealth versus Karen Reed.
Correct.
Did you talk to Allie before her testimony?
Oh, and here's a question. He doesn't have social media, but yet in the hearing, Jim goes on to say that he's being bullied and attacked on social media. So you got social media now? Why did you get it now of all things when you didn't have it before?
No.
When was the last time you did talk to Allie before she testified yesterday?
Put in the chat. I'm sorry, you guys are like, stop it. Okay, I'm just trying to fill it in, right? Put in the chat, what would be your new questions for Colin? Think about, let's look at this and say, okay, he didn't have social media in 2024. What prompted him to get social media now? Because his attorney just represented in the hearing last week in his oppositions that, the information about him being in the Army has somehow disturbed his lifestyle and has caused him stress because of things that are being posted on social media. But according to him in 2024, he did not have social media. So why does he have it now? What prompted him to get it? Okay, that would be one of my questions. I would go down that rabbit hole. What else did you have? Here we are talking to him about, when did you talk to Allie about her testimony? He says he did not in 2024. Has he talked to her now?
I don't remember.
Give me an idea. She's one of your best friends. A week ago, a day ago, a month ago.
I do not remember.
Could it have been a year ago?
I do not remember.
Could have been 5 years ago.
No.
Okay. So it's more recently than 5 years ago that you spoke with Allie.
I don't remember.
Okay, what a weird exchange. When did you talk to your bestie? Your best friend, so close to you, call each other cousins. And he was like, I don't know. Okay, a week ago, yesterday, an hour ago, like what? I don't know. A year ago, I don't know. 5 years ago? No, 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 not 5 years ago. Not 5 years ago. Okay, so anything more recent than 5 years? Well, I don't know. So it could have been 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. Come on now, this is insane.
So you have no independent recollection as you sit here. The last time you talked to Lally during this meeting that y'all had, did Mr. Lally show you anything? Items of evidence, photographs, videos,
So my question is, does the military vet a person's memory? I mean, the selective memory, quite close in time. This might become an issue for him in the military. What is his job that he, hopefully he can remember. I don't know. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see some new people in. Make sure you like the video. Glad to have you. We are waiting for the replay for today's hearing relative to Colin Albert having to testify by deposition. And as we do that, we are sitting here wondering what are the new questions that he will be asked in deposition because of his hearing that he gave in 2024 when his testimony at the hearing at the trial. We want to hear what were the lies or the misconceptions or the lack of memory that Colin had in 2024, and how will that be refreshed in 2026?
could have been sooner than a month. Or let me ask that a different way. Could have been
No,
mention that to your mom.
no.
So how likely is that? Dad says, "Hey, you have to appear." You don't say, "Yeah, I know. I talked to Sergeant so and so," or "Yeah, I know. I talked to Lally," or "I talked to whatever." You don't reply like, "Yeah, I know. Thanks. So and so told me. Yeah, I'll be there." You just say, "Okay." Oh, okay.
When you got done with that meeting, Dad didn't ask you, how'd it go, son?
Nope.
Your mom didn't say, how was that meeting
No.
about this massive murder case?
Objection.
The objection goes to the word massive. He categorizes it as massive because if you remember, the jury is not supposed to realize that this is a nationally covered case or has interest nationwide. I don't know how they don't know that, but whatever.
Let me ask you a different way. Do you consider this to be a high-profile murder case?
Objection.
That's his opinion.
Relevancy, ask it differently.
In your mind, this is an important case, correct? Obviously.
Correct.
But according to you, it just never comes up in the Albert household.
No.
Wow. Now, that is contradictory to their statements of John O'Keefe was such an important person to them. So no one has anything to say, huh? I wonder, does that change from 2024 to 2026? It must be the conversation everywhere he turns because, now they're in civil litigation. I wonder if he's going to have the same kind of response. Oh, no, we don't talk about it.
You were asked to look at a couple of text messages yesterday. Looked a little bit like this. That you've ever posted.
No.
He asked you about any comments you've ever made online,
Nope.
any photos you've ever been in,
No.
any fights you've ever been in.
Nope.
Who's Courtney Proctor?
She's friendly with my aunt, Jillian.
I'm sorry?
My aunt Jillian, she's friendly with.
When you say friendly with, describe that. What do you mean by friendly with?
I know that they're pretty friendly.
You say over the years.
4 or 5, maybe.
Her family is close to your family, it's fair to say.
Not that close.
There it is. Hello. This is what Rosenberg was arguing with the judge with last week when the judge says why it's not relevant to know that he was in the wedding of Proctor or whatever. And the Rosenberg goes, wait, it is relevant. And they had this, well, no, it's not. It is. He goes, I need to tell you why. And he's like, no, you don't. That moment in time when Rosenberg finally gets it on the record after trying 4 or 5 times, listen, you never give up. You keep going. You keep trying, especially when you're trying to make a record for your client's necessity of the court so that if you have to appeal anything, you have a record, right? So Rosenberg gets it down on the record. The relevance is that the families were close enough that they are attending each other's weddings, that children are involved in weddings, and they're having, this close nature, and we need to investigate and understand that. And here is Colin in 2024 going, yeah, she's a good friendly friend of my aunt's. And you hear Jackson say, okay, so the families are close. And he's like, yeah, we're not that close. What is that close? Not that close enough to attend each other's wedding? Not that close enough to be involved in monumental events? I mean, do you just go to anybody's wedding party? Are you just the ring bearer at anybody's wedding party? That is truly a very odd scenario. But then, how are you so close to John O'Keefe that you feel like He is such a great friend of yours. He's coming over your house. Of course, you guys are close. Those two things don't quite get along. If someone's close enough, you guys go to each other's wedding, then you're that close. That's how close you are. You're that close. You can't get to testify and say, "Oh no, we're not that close." We're just kind of friendly. We just kind of know each other. We're just hanging out in town together. And they said they had a wedding, so we hopped on over. It's not a barbecue cookout. Like this is a wedding. I mean, unless you did do a barbecue cookout, but it's a wedding. It's a monumental event, where typically you're paying per plate. So you're not having just anybody there. You're having important people there. You're reserving for important people in your life. Yeah, so you are that close. Now the question is, how close were you really to John O'Keefe, Officer O'Keefe? I don't know that you were that close to Officer O'Keefe, considering the fact that he was investigating some of your family's dealings, or not his family, but McAlbert family or whoever's family dealings. Someday we'll get down to the bottom of this, hopefully.
Close though.
When you say not that close, but close though, what does that mean?
+2, 22.
You're
22
on
about
the photo.
now.
I'd like to show Mr. Lally first.
Hello, welcome,
Ma'am?
welcome.
Thank you. Take a look at that photo and tell me if you recognize it. Just look at it to yourself, please.
Hit the like button, subscribe.
after
We're
you
waiting
study
for the
it first.
court to
Yep.
give the
You
hearing
recognize
for
the photo?
today.
Yes.
Who's in that photo?
Objection.
So the objection sustained as to the content of the photos. Did you want to come to sidebar and explain this to me?
All right. So like I said, we're waiting on the court right now. Welcome. Glad you're here. Appreciate you. Go ahead and click the like button, subscribe. As Judge G is in hearing right now on this case, he has decided that he's not going to have it live streamed, that most likely Boston News will have to do a replay. So we're waiting on Boston News to put up today's hearing. We don't have that yet. While we're waiting on that, we're just kind of refreshing ourselves on what Colin had to say in 2024. And put it in the chat. What do you think will be the updated questions for Colin? What are we updating? Okay, so he did not have social media in 2024. He testified to that. So do you have social media now? He must, because his attorney said that in fact he's getting bullied on social media because he went to the Army. Okay, so if you have that ability to see it now, let's see your social media accounts. That's probably going to be a part of the document subpoena. What other questions do you think we should ask Colin? Let's see if we can get it over to Alan Jackson's office. These are the questions that we want to know. In 2024, another thing he said was him and Allie McKay are best friends. They're so close they call each other cousins, but he doesn't know when the last time they spoke. It could have been a year prior. It could have been almost 5 years prior. Like he really he does not know. He just does not know. He does not know when he talked to his best friend, his best friend cousin, his cousin best friend. I don't know. Okay. All right. Sidebar. It's a very long sidebar. What would you ask Colin in 2026? Clarify the record. What would you ask him?
May I push on?
Yes.
your family and the Proctor
Uh-oh.
family has been close enough.
Hey, Judge, we have the answer. He was 10 years old when he was the ring bearer. Somebody tell Rosenberg. We know how old he was.
Well, of course it was when you were younger. It was
Mhm.
10 years ago.
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah, Your Honor. Why can't we classify what the photo is? Oh, the days of Judge Bev. Don't we just love Judge G? It reminds me of how much we love Judge G. Okay, welcome, welcome. Hit that like button. Just know we're waiting for Boston News to show us the replay of today's hearing. While we do that, we're looking at Colin Albert's testimony in 2024. Put in the chat what you think some of the new questions would be. You know, how close are you to the wedding, how close are you to the Proctor family? You know, has that changed? Do you now have social media? We know that he was 10 years old when he was the ring bearer. So no, it wasn't his decision, but it was the family's decision. You know, how did you come about knowing about the family's decision? Okay, Colin Albert, tell us more. Let's say we can scoot a little bit past the sidebar with Bev. Yes, sidebars with Bevs, where the truth lies. It's in the sidebars. Oh, thank goodness for Judge G. He's even kill, you know, he's consistent. You may not agree with the rules, but he's consistent. Both sides of the consistent. Okay.
Mr. Albert, I want you to look at that
This
one
photo.
more time.
What is it?
When you were in that?
Do you know?
I'd say
Oh,
so, yeah.
why
Okay.
is she changing? Why is she changing the question? Here's Judge Bev saying, when you were little, is that what you thought? The question was, do you know? It's relative to right now. What do you know now? Not 10 years ago, Judge Bev.
And
Good grief.
you were never interviewed by Canton Police Department in connection with this case, correct?
No.
How many times were you interviewed by the Massachusetts State Police
Hello.
in connection with this?
Welcome, welcome. I see you. I see you. We are still waiting on Judge G to let us see today's hearing. While we do that, we're recapping what did Colin have to say in 2024 at the trial. So that's what we're looking at now. As soon as Judge G or Boston News makes the hearing today available, we will in fact go to that hearing. Just recapping what Colin had to say. And if you have any ideas what some of those questions in the deposition should be, like, you know, how close are you to the family? How old were you? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Thank you for being here.
Once.
And that was in I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Welcome, welcome. Hit that like button and subscribe. We're waiting on Judge G and Boston
I need a foundational question.
to
first.
release
I
today's
apologize. It's my
hearing.
fault, Mr. Albert. Do you believe it would refresh your recollection as to the length of that first interview?
We're waiting on Boston to release today's hearing with Judge G. While we do that, we are recapping what Colin had to say on the stand in 2024.
You were to see your testimony from a prior proceeding?
Yes.
So this is interesting. Judge Bev will not allow speaking objections as to any soliloquy or any statement as to why one objects. But when she goes in to sustain an objection, she adds a lot of, excuse me, she adds a plethora of opinion as to, you know better. She's chastising Jackson. You know better. You know you can ask that differently. Oh, thanks, Judge.
Did you say 10?
I'm really glad that they won the second trial because I believe that as much as she seemingly had her thumb on the scale, I don't know that they would have won in the appeal process. So I'm glad that they were able to show second trial Karen's innocence.
Minutes.
Yes.
So during the course of that 10-minute conversation that you had with Michael Proctor, what was the tone of that interview? You understand what I mean by tone?
No.
I do not understand.
Okay. Was it hostile and accusatory?
Not that I remember, no.
Was it antagonistic or confrontational?
Can you use different words, please?
Sure.
Well, yeah, answer those words. Yes or no. Was it, hostile? I think this was a great illustration that they treated him like a witness and didn't treat him like a suspect at any point in time. They didn't interview him in the tone of a suspect. They did not investigate him in the way of a suspect. So that's what Jackson's getting at.
Was he being mean?
No.
Was
He was being nice, right?
Professional, I'd say.
Yeah, because you've known him almost your whole life, right?
Yes.
He was friendly and cordial,
Yeah, you've known him most of your life.
Correct.
and the interview was comfortable.
Say it again.
The interview was comfortable.
Correct.
You didn't feel like you were on the hot seat.
No.
He was not on the hot seat.
Did you find that the interview with Michael Proctor was consistent with the relationship that you've had with him your whole life? Meaning, he's always been friendly to you. He was just as friendly in that conversation.
Yep.
Not really, no.
Oh, whatever.
How is he different?
Whatever.
I'd say more professional.
Okay. Obviously,
Oh.
he was doing a job, correct?
Oh, he was
Correct.
But when you walked in,
he was more professional. You hear that? He had a different rapport. So when he is friendly outside of work, he is really chill and not as professional. You're very close to them. But a minute ago, you weren't that close. So which one is it, Colin? You're close or you're not that close?
you recognized him.
Yes.
He recognized you.
Yes.
You made natural greetings with one another, correct?
Correct.
Questioned you about a few things.
Correct.
He didn't look at your phone. He didn't ask to take your phone away from you.
No.
He didn't ask to seize your phone or seize any other physical items from you.
No.
You weren't asked to come down to the police station and sit in an interview room or an interrogation room, were you?
No.
Matter of fact, where did the conversation take place, those 10 minutes?
In the DA's office on Shawmut Road.
DA's office on Shawmut Road. Who else was there other than Trooper Proctor and his partner at the time, Trooper Clark? And when it was done, he said, "You're free to go."
Correct.
And he didn't take your phone.
Nope.
He didn't ask you to look at any text messages.
Nope.
He didn't look through your phone.
Nope.
He didn't take any screenshots or videos of your phone or the contents of your phone.
Nope.
Just let you walk out the door.
Correct.
Well. So Colin Albert didn't have to turn over anything. So much for an investigation, right? And then you have his attorney saying, he's not relevant to this case. He's not relevant to this case. What are you talking about? They didn't investigate him. They treated him like a friend. Matter of fact, more than a friend. Okay. So why is he relevant? What does Colin have to say that might be of interest? Maybe he can explain this.
No matter the team must run it back as far as they can while the opposing team tries to defend. Pass or run, you don't want to finish last 4 15-minute quarters to decide the winner. Practice is the key to a successful team. Playoffs is where they want to be. The loser goes home empty-handed, and the winner moves on with the Super Bowl in view. The few will take home the glory, and that's the end of the story.
Okay, football.
You're a bitch, bro. Fuck you. Yeah, fuck you, you pussy. Yeah. Skin cold, boy. You be knocked out. KO. Bang, bang.
Oh, knocked out KO, bang bang. But if you remember, why are we playing music? But if you remember, Colin's not. He's not violent. I don't know how that's going to work for him in the military, but okay. Okay, I don't want to hear the music. Okay, great, mom, dad. Yeah. Okay.
Water
All right, let's go back.
I am studying.
Let's go back. Care about what that is.
My name is Colin Albert. I am a freshman at Bridgewater State. I like to always have comfy clothes on and not dress up really. I'm from Canton, Massachusetts, which is about like 20 minutes outside of Boston, about 30 minutes away from Bridgewater. And I'm just happy to be at this school, happy to play football, and happy to see where the road's going to take me one day.
Okay, there's a good contrast between when he is either doing something for the school or for football, when he's being, I guess, prompted. In the beginning, it looked like he was prompted to do a video. He has a different articulation than when he's seemingly inebriated and wants to, speak to his rivals in some way. Let's see what he has to say now.
Yo, your advantage, boys. I will beat all your asses. I promise you, I will fuck you all up. Pull up, bitch.
All right, so pull up. He is antagonizing a fight. He's not just defending, he's antagonizing. That's the difference in that regard. And here's the infamous picture that Jackson and well, I guess Rosenberg, whoever's doing his depo, really wants to ask him, how in the world did you get these bruises on your knuckle? If you remember in trial, he said he fell or something. It's like, really? If you fell, why is it not just one, straight line? It seemingly is each knuckle. I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, but somebody's going to help him make sense of it. He's going to have to answer for it. Preparing for prison. Okay. Okay. That's pushing it too far. All right. So, what's this? Oh yeah, okay. So that was just Colin Albert's clips and social medias. But interesting enough, I want to go back to him on stand saying he does not have a social media account. So where did he post these social media clips if he doesn't have a social media account? All right. I'm gonna give it one more looky-loo. What is this? No, I do not see. I don't see Boston's. I don't see their hearing for the day. Boston does not look like they have the hearing up. They took the live stream down. Most likely, we're told that the judge did not want it live streamed. Interesting enough. So hopefully they'll be able to put it up as a new as a replay. Yeah, so today's live stream is unavailable. Let me show you what I see. So you see what I see. We are still unavailable. Wah, 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 wah. Judge G, we love you. Can you make it available, please? So we don't see that. We did look at some of Colin Albert's cross-examination with Jackson when he was up when he was up on the stand. And I'm going to see if we can find anything else on uh, I don't see the live stream. The only thing that's pulling up is last week's hearing. So we'll just have to see something else here. Okay, what is this one? What day was this? Court TV has something. Oh, that's forever ago. All right, let's see. When Karen was on the Today Show, this is a part of what I believe has struck the judge's nerve in some regard. I believe that he's very consistent when it comes to he doesn't want it overly politicized. He doesn't want the attorneys pandering to the public in any way. He's calling it, social medias. And then he took issue to some regard that this particular moment when they were on the Today Show. So let's see what struck his nerve the most. I'm going to go ahead and like the video. I don't necessarily want to subscribe to Today Show, but if you have the desire to do that, go ahead. At this time, also make sure that you're liking and subscribing to my channel here. All right.
Karen Reed and her attorneys in just a moment. But first, a closer look at this new lawsuit and a warning. Some of the language you are about to hear is disgusting and offensive.
Some of the language you're about to hear is in good.
Nearly 1 year after Karen Reed walked out of court a free woman, she's waging her own legal battle this morning against the police departments she says framed her for the murder of her boyfriend, police officer John O'Keefe.
You know what you did. You know what you've done.
The 46-year-old filing a scathing new civil suit against Massachusetts State Police and the town.
Where's that from? Who's a filthy pig?
That you just do dirty things to.
Reed's history with Proctor and others in law enforcement stretching back years. Accusing Reed of hitting O'Keefe with her SUV.
Falsely accusing. Yeah, highlight that a little more, because it's like, oh, her attorneys have yet to prove that the house party defendants did it. Well, they did prove her innocence, and that really wasn't what they had to prove. It's kind of on the earnest of the Commonwealth. Commonwealth did not prove that she was guilty,
leaving him to die in the snow.
This case should be over right now. Done. Because there was no collision.
A jury ultimately acquitted Reed last summer of second-degree murder after her first trial ended with a hung jury. Proctor, meanwhile, was fired for his misconduct, his lawyer dismissing the newly revealed messages from his personal life as having no bearing whatsoever on the investigation of Karen Reed. Sergeant Good, also off the force, resigning this week after he was placed on leave for alleged misconduct. It's unclear if that leave was connected to Reed. But Massachusetts State Police call their messages, quote, abhorrent, adding in a statement they do not reflect the agency's values. Yet the allegations of police corruption at the heart of Reed's defense struck a chord for many of her supporters, who often gathered outside the courthouse, with many more following online.
Never in my entire life have I been more invested in a court case.
Even an auction of her SUV attracting intense interest until it was sold. It all comes as the former financial analyst fends off other legal woes, including a wrongful death lawsuit brought by the O'Keefe family. But Karen Reed has vowed to keep fighting to vindicate her innocence.
There's more evidence and there's more of a story to tell.
Now, NBC News has reached out to Sean Good, but has not yet heard back. The town of Canton, meantime, says it refutes any broad stroke characterizations about the people who serve in that department. And joining us now is Karen Reed, along with her two attorneys, Alan Jackson and Charles Waters. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Karen, let's start with you because we really haven't heard from you much and seen you really at all since the jury's not guilty verdict. First, just why file this lawsuit now? You already have one lawsuit in the queue. Why do this now?
This was always our plan, that I had to save my own life first. I can't do anything if I'm not.
There it is. That's the sentence that disturbed the judge. This was always our plan. It was always their plan. They said it during the trial that they were going to go after the Boston PD, Massachusetts PD, for not investigating the case. They always said this. They've said it. This is nothing new.
Free. And I had to fight for my freedom for years. And I knew as it unfolded, I was never going to be able to just forget that this happened to me, that I was wronged in this way. I couldn't just go back to life as it was. I have to continue fighting for justice. The acquittal is deserved.
Admitted that. From a legal standpoint, what do you precisely want to see happen here that has not already happened?
Well, it's a civil case.
That's so condescending. They're gone. They said that, they've cleaned house. Like, what else do you want from us?
So the remedy is the law speaks in dollars, but that's not what the ultimate goal is here. The ultimate goal is to ensure that we bring to the light the institutional biases, the institutional corruption that permeates the Massachusetts law enforcement system. That's what this lawsuit's going to do, ultimately. What Karen wants, you cannot write on a check, which is exposure. Exposure of the corruption that is the DNA of the Massachusetts State Police, of the Canton Police Department, which is evidenced by these two individuals in their text messages. They were in a position where they felt comfortable within their own family, the family of law enforcement, to send these vile text messages, to send these vile voicemails that are reflective of a deeper problem in the culture. That's what we want to expose.
But to be clear, we're seeking money.
At the end of the day, that's what the civil law requires. Yeah.
Charles, I want to bring you in here because you guys have always maintained she was framed, right? That's been your entire theory from the beginning here. But what evidence have you actually amassed over the past 4 years now? What evidence?
The evidence that she had. But I think first and foremost, you look at the injuries that John O'Keefe suffered, and that to me is the key. Those were injuries from the back of his head. He died from injuries to the back of his head. Some then you look at the house. And
What a
then you look at
beautiful
the people
answer.
that were in.
What a beautiful answer to a very ridiculous question. Yeah, check out the injuries and then you determine how those injuries were caused. You don't just, You don't just say, oh, she hit him with a car, because that makes sense to us. You follow the science, you follow the evidence.
The house, and there are alleged
Not had any evidence that there's lots of.
Right. Who in the world looks at the evidence and says, oh, she did it, they got away with it? No, we don't. That's why she was acquitted. And aside from the O'Keefes and McAlbert clan and crew, I don't think there's many others who think that at all. And that's just a handful of people. But I guess you got to ask some kind of question, right? You're going to make your money somewhere, even if it's stupid.
People who feel
Sorry.
that way. I mean, I have lived.
Sorry, that's all right. All right, everyone. That's kind of where it is. The judge is mad because Karen Reed went on today's show and said, hey, we planned this all along. And he doesn't want the outside influence of social media. That's not unheard of. Most judges don't want social media. Well, family has come into town, so I'm going to shut this down. Does not look like we get a hearing today. Hopefully we'll get the video in short order by Boston News. And I hope they're taping the absolute whole thing. Okay, Trial Channel, make sure they're taping the whole thing for us. All right. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you for joining us today. Have a blessed day. Keep your head up. Lyric Armstrong, your real estate agent and advocate.